Hey y'all, welcome back to my Southern Rustic kitchen. This week we're cooking up some sausage and peppers pizza, tequila chili lime tacos, spicy grilled fish with hush puppies and coleslaw, and some delicious chicken fried rice. So let's head on into the kitchen and let's make some delicious meals. Alright, we are starting this week out with making sausage and peppers pizza. I love making all things sausage and peppers. Typically I would make it as a sheet pan meal or a one dish skillet meal, but today we're making it into pizza form and this turned out absolutely delicious. So to my pan here I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil, add in some onions and some peppers, a little bit of salt and pepper, and I'm just going to toss this around and let this cook on about medium-low heat until they are super tender. Now that the onions and the peppers are kind of tender, they still need to cook a little bit longer. I'm going to go ahead and add in my spices. I'm going to add some red pepper flakes, thyme, fennel seed, a little bit more salt and pepper, mix that around, and then I'm going to add in my sausage. You can do whatever kind of sausage is your favorite. You can cut it in rounds, you can cut it on a bias, whatever you want, that will work just fine. And then I'm going to add in some garlic. And then I'm going to let this cook and let that garlic get fragrant and a little bit of color on that sausage. It should take about 5 minutes. Alright, now that the sausage and peppers are done, we're going to remove them to a bowl and we're going to head on over and assemble our pizzas. Alright, let's assemble our pizza. So I've just got a dough here that I made earlier. It's a simple pizza dough. I will leave all the links to the recipes in the description box below so you can check all of those out. To the dough, I've just got it rolled out to about 1/4 of an inch thick. I'm going to add some olive oil, brush that all over. Once that is on there, I'm going to add in my pizza sauce. Now you can add in whatever kind of pizza sauce is your favorite. You can do store-bought or homemade. Once you get the pizza sauce on there, I'm going to add some grated Parmesan cheese, then my sausage and peppers, and then I'm going to top that with some mozzarella cheese. You can add as much or as little cheese as you want. Then you're going to bake this at 450 degrees for about 15 minutes or so, just until that crust is nice and golden brown and the cheese is nice and melted. Now I used a pizza peel for this, but if you don't have a pizza peel, you can do this directly on a pizza stone or a pizza pan, or even a sheet pan will work just fine. So just assemble it on the pan and then pop it in the oven and cook it until the crust is golden and the cheese is melted, about 20 minutes or so. Here is what the pizza looks like right when it comes out of the oven. So I'm just going to let this sit here and cool. I sliced it up. Now I'm just going to serve it up. I've got 2 pieces here with some spicy ranch. I just added a little bit of hot sauce to my ranch, called it good, and this was absolutely delicious. Next up is my tequila chili chicken tacos. These were so good and they're really easy to make. So to my bowl here, I've just got 2 chicken breasts that I've just got thinly sliced. And to this, I'm going to add in some tequila, the juice of 2 lemons, chili powder, salt and pepper, red pepper flakes, cayenne pepper, a little bit of neutral flavored oil. You can use any kind of oil that you have on hand as long as it's neutral flavored, like avocado oil, vegetable oil, something along that line. And then I'm just going to add in some baking soda. I'm going to mix this up until it's well combined and make sure that baking soda is all combined in there and it's not lumpy. And then I'm just going to cover this up and set this to the side and let it marinate for a good 20 to 30 minutes. While the chicken is sitting over to the side marinating, I'm going to char up some flour tortillas. I've got a tortilla warmer here. I'm just going to add a tea towel to that and set it to the side. I've got some flour tortillas here. I'm just going to cut the stove on and we're going to char these up. I'm going to place it directly onto the stove. Using a pair of tongs, I'm going to flip these over until they are nice and charred on both sides. I'm going to put them directly into the tortilla warmer, cover them with that towel, and then set them to the side. Now we're going to move on to the chicken. I've got my skillet preheated over medium heat, and I'm going to add a little bit of neutral oil to my pan. And we're going to work in batches. I'm going to do about 2 to 3 batches. I'm going to add the chicken into the pan. I'm going to spread it out so it cooks evenly and it doesn't steam. And I'm just going to cook this about 4 to 5 minutes, just until that chicken is nice and cooked through. Then I'm going to remove it to a clean bowl and set it to the side. Alright, now it is time to assemble these tacos. Now you can assemble these however you want. I'm going to go in with some of the cooked chicken. I'm going to add that to the bottom of the tacos. Then I'm going to add some shredded cabbage. Now if you don't like cabbage, you can add lettuce. Then I'm going to add some tomatoes and sour cream. And I'm going to top it with a little bit of queso fresco, or you can do whatever other kind of cheese that you like. And then these are good to go.
From the east to the west, with the heart of great.
Alright, here is my plate. I just have the tacos here, and these were so good. I love the crunch that the cabbage gives, and I absolutely love these little taco stands. It makes it so easy to fill the tacos up, and I just served it with a side of Spanish rice. This is a recipe of mine. I will leave it linked in the description box below, but this was absolutely delicious. Alright, for dinner today I am making spicy fish and some coleslaw and hush puppies. We're going to start out by making the coleslaw. It's super easy. In this bowl I've got some shredded cabbage and some shredded carrots. I'm just going to set this to the side while we work on our dressing. For the dressing, I am making a kind of like a horseradish cream sauce. It's really delicious. If you don't like horseradish, you can just leave the horseradish out. So to my bowl here, I've just got some mayo, sugar, apple cider vinegar, salt and pepper, a couple of tablespoons horseradish, some celery seed, and some Dijon mustard. And I'm just going to mix this around until it's all nice and combined.
Let the anthem rise up, let the song ring out, let the ground now tremble as we raise a shout. Let the anthem rise up, let the song ring out.
Alright, now that the sauce is nice and combined, I tasted it and adjusted the seasoning. I added a little bit more salt and pepper. Now I'm just going to pour this over the shredded cabbage and the shredded carrots. And I'm going to mix this around until it's well coated. I'm going to cover this with plastic wrap and I'm going to pop this in the refrigerator and kind of let all of the flavors meld together while we work on our hush puppies. Alright, moving on to the hush puppies. I have made these hush puppies for many years. They're absolutely delicious, super easy to make. So to my bowl here, I've got some cornmeal, and you can do white cornmeal or yellow cornmeal, whatever you have on hand. I'm going to add some flour and some cornstarch. Now the cornstarch is going to lighten this batter up and make it soft and fluffy and crispy on the outside. Then I'm going to add in my onions, salt and pepper, an egg, and some milk. And I'm just going to stir this around and make sure everything is nice and incorporated. And then we are ready for frying.
Hopeless when I was at my worst. It's grace that you extended that I did not deserve. I am so amazed by all you have done. I cannot explain the...
Alright, now we are ready to start frying these hush puppies. I've got my batter here. I've got a 1 tablespoon scoop measure. I've got some oil heated in my small Dutch oven to about 360 degrees. And I've got an extra bowl with some paper towel just to catch any excess grease. So all I'm going to do is take that scoop out some of that batter, drop it directly down into that hot oil, kind of toss those around in the oil a little bit, make sure they're nice and cooked on all sides and golden brown. It should take about 4 to 5 minutes. Then I'm just going to remove them to the bowl with the paper towel to catch any of the excess grease. And then I'm going to continue on cooking the rest of the hush puppies.
Amazed at the depth of your love, and I am so amazed by all you have done. I cannot explain the depth of your love. Limits can't contain the heart of you, God. I'm amazed at the depth of your love.
Alright, moving on to the spicy grilled fish. I'm going to start out with my spice blend. This is super easy and you can keep it on hand. So to my little bowl here, I'm going to just add in some chili powder, garlic powder, cumin, paprika, a few more seasonings, and then I'm just going to mix it all up and set it over to the side while we work on the fish. Alright, for the fish, I have some whiting fillets here. You can use any kind of fish that you have on hand or that you prefer. So I've just got these in this plate here and I'm going to brush on some oil. I'm using olive oil. Use what you have on hand. And then I'm just going to brush that all over, make sure it's evenly coated. And then I'm going to sprinkle over some of that seasoning blend. And then these are ready for frying. And I'm going to season the other side once I get them in the pan. Alright, so I've got my grill pan heated over low heat. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to my pan and brush that around, make sure it's evenly coated, just to make sure that fish does not stick to my grill pan. Then I'm going to add my fish seasoned side down. I'm going to brush over a little bit more oil on the fish, season the other side, and I'm going to let this cook for about 4 to 5 minutes per side, just until that fish is cooked through. And then I'm going to remove it from the pan to a serving dish. Alright, so here is my plate. I just have the fish here. Now this fish was slightly spicy due to the cayenne pepper. However, you can tone down the spice level of the seasoning blend. Then I've just got the coleslaw here and the hush puppies, and this, you guys, was so good. If you love meals like this, you are going to absolutely love this one. Wrapping up this week, we're going to make some chicken fried rice. Now this is one of our favorites. It's really easy. Just be sure to make your rice the day before. I forgot to do that, so I'm going to be working with fresh cooked rice, but I suggest making some rice the day before. So starting out, we're going to start with marinating our chicken. So I've got 2 chicken breasts here that I've got cubed up. To this, I'm going to add some cornstarch, soy sauce, a little bit of neutral oil, and some baking soda. And I'm just going to mix this together until everything is well combined. I'm going to set that to the side and let that marinate for a good 15 to 20 minutes. Alright, now we're just going to start cooking in sections. We're going to start off with the eggs. So I've got my skillet here. It's over medium-low heat. And I'm going to add a little bit of neutral oil. I'm using avocado oil. Use whatever oil you have on hand. Once that is hot, I'm going to add in a couple of beaten eggs. And I'm going to scramble that up and then remove that to a plate. Now I'm just going to add a little bit more oil to the pan. I don't want to add it too much because we're going to do this in batches like I said. So I've added a little bit more oil. Now I'm going to add in half of my chicken. I want to do this in batches so that way the chicken gets a little bit of a brown color instead of kind of steaming in the pan, and it gets kind of like a nice crispy crust on the outside, but it's still tender. Once all of the chicken is completely cooked through, I'm just going to remove that to a bowl and set it to the side. Now I'm going to add in my diced onion. I'm going to add just a tiny bit of salt just to help break down that onion and help it get tender. And I'm going to cook this just for about 3 minutes or so, just until the onions are slightly tender but still have kind of a bite in the center. Now I'm going to go in and add in my frozen but thawed mixed vegetables. If you are using fresh vegetables, you want to add them in when you add in your onion so they can cook to kind of like a tender crisp texture. But since I'm using frozen, I'm just going to dump them in there and let them cook for about 2 to 3 minutes. Now I'm going to go in and add in some minced garlic. I'm just going to throw that in there, toss it around, let it cook for about 30 seconds, just until it's fragrant. And then I'm going to remove the vegetable mixture and add it in with the chicken that I've got sitting over to the side. I've added in a little bit more oil to my pan just to help keep that rice from sticking, but since it's fresh rice that I cooked today because I kind of forgot to cook it yesterday. However, it's still going to work. I'm going to add that in there and kind of break it up a little bit to separate those rice granules. And I'm going to let this cook for about 5 to 8 minutes, just until that rice starts to get a little crispy. So now that the rice has kind of crisped up, I'm going to go ahead and add in my sauce. Now I thought I recorded me making the sauce, but apparently I did not do that. So Anyways, the link to this will be in the description box below. It will have all the instructions and ingredients on my blog. So you can just click that link and it'll take you right to it. So I'm going to add my sauce to my rice, toss it around very, very well, and make sure all of that rice is coated in that sauce. Okay, now that the rice is done giving me fits because it kept sticking to the pan, like I said, it's fresh rice, it will stick to anything. My preference would be to use day-old rice or a 2-day-old rice. However, like I said, I forgot to do that. But now that the rice is fully coated in the sauce, I'm going to go in and add all of the rest of the mixture, the vegetable mixture and the chicken. I'm going to add that in there, toss it around, make sure everything is nice and evenly distributed, and then this is good to go. You can adjust the seasoning. You can add some salt and pepper if you think it needs it, but this is ready to go. Alright, you guys, here is my plate. I have the chicken fried rice here. This was so good. Typically when we make an Asian style meal, I will have egg drop soup or wonton soup on the side. Most of the time it's egg drop soup. It's my daughter's favorite. But yeah, this was absolutely delicious. And that is going to wrap up this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment in the comment section down below. Be nice in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.